Welcome to Connecting Greeks, a streaming comedy show and podcast designed to explore and enhance Greek culture around the world. Join hosts Angelo, Ari, and Foti as they bring you fun and interesting guests from all walks of Greek life. Grab a cafedaki and join us.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Connecting Greeks podcast. I'm Ari, and I am here with some of my favorite dudes in the whole entire world. Let me bring on my lesser of the two favorite, Foti Stamos. What's up, man?
Awesome, thank you. I love to be the second of the two.
Yeah, Foti, unfortunately, you're always going to play second to my number one guy, Angelo Tsadoukas. What's up, Angelo?
Hey, guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you guys. It's our first podcast of the new year.
It is.
Absolutely. Episode 1 of 2024.
Yeah, hopefully all good things coming. Angelo, what's going on? Tell us what's happening.
Been back on the road. Right now I'm on a cruise ship. I did the New Year's cruise out of Mexico. We just left Puerto Vallarta and went to this great Greek restaurant called Opa Bistro. The guy's name is Apostoli in Puerto Vallarta. Fantastic food, man. I'm not kidding you. Some of the best Greek food I've ever had was in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Greeks are everywhere.
Everywhere.
And we're here to connect them.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And having said that,
did you guys have a good Yortes? Good holidays?
We did. Very low key, but very nice.
And fast.
That's great. Well, look, I know where this guy I met. You see him on. He's an internet sensation. He goes by Cypriot Smurf. He's a little fellow, very funny. I met him for the first time now 2 years ago because it's 2024. I was doing shows. We always connect on the internet and Instagram. And when I went to Cyprus for the first time to do shows, he came to hang out. Couldn't be a nicer guy. Very funny. Cypriot, I think, maybe our first Cypriot guest on Connecting Greeks. I think, meaning out of Cyprus. I think.
Yeah. You're right. I think you're right.
Maybe right.
I think you're right.
Really funny guy and a great guy and very much one of us, man. So welcome. I want to welcome on behalf of Connecting Greeks the show, Cypriot Smurf, my friend Peter. Welcome, Peter. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. It's so nice to actually hear that from you as well, because I've watched you ever since. I don't want to say ever since I was young, because I don't want to insult you.
Yeah, say it. It's okay. Say it. Ari and Forty want to replace me anyway, so you might as well join the bandwagon. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so it's an honor, and it was great to meet you, and you are exactly who you are online as well. You're an amazing person and very kind, very funny, and very kind words, especially after the end of your show. I would always remember that. So thank you so much.
See, you hear that, Ari and Forty? Do you hear that? All the way to the other end of the world.
Yeah. Somebody who actually likes you here.
You must have been drinking a lot that night, Angelo.
So listen, buddy, your stuff is. I'm going to say this because I told Ari and Forty I wanted to bring on the show, and the biggest thing now as we go into 2024, time is a big deal for everybody, and we realize that we're limited. When I say limited, I'm not saying we're limited, but I mean time goes by fast. And I've been trying to get you on the show for a while. Here's the interesting thing. So for background for people to understand, is this correct to say Cyprus is about 1 million people? I'd say 900,000 are Greek Cypriot and 100,000 are considered Turkish Cypriot. Is that right to say?
Yeah, I would say it's right. But I think within the numbers, there's a mixture of different nationalities.
There's different nationalities,
well.
Of course. Because I got other friends that you met them they're in Nicosia now, and some are in Larnaca and Paphos and stuff. And the thing I noticed when I went there, because it's Greek, but there's Cypriot words. Like for instance, and these are one thing I asked you, and you laughed at me. I said, "Well, you said, hey, we're going to get some patija."
Yeah, patija. Yeah.
Patija, and I thought patija was weed, but patija in Cypriot is karpouzi, which is watermelon. So when the guy asked me, he said, "Do you want some patija?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's have some patija." and then he goes, "No, patija is karpouzi, which is watermelon." So
I remember
I love that.
I remember the word. I remember the word I told you, mishimo, as well. If you
Mishimo. Tell the guys Mishimo.
Like Mishimo is like supposedly Mishimo Angelo Tsaruka had the best Greek food he's ever had in his life in Mexico. Like Mishimo, like you know what I mean? So that's how we use it in Cyprus. Like if someone's like bullshitting sometimes, Mishimo, he's this, Mishimo, he's
Mishimo, I love that. Mishimo. Yeah. So the thing is like, so this is interesting because your country has quite the history. And, you know, I mean, there's the invasion, 1974, for the north end of the island. And I went with you and my friend Harriet. If you know, in Nicosia, you got the Green Line where you have going across to where the Turkish occupation is. And if you have your passport, remember I didn't have my passport that day, we couldn't go. You can walk across. It's like going back 50 years ago. Yeah, but the thing is, just to give an example, so what I liked about the Cypriots, and I got a lot of fans there, and I know you're a very big presence there, Peter, in Cyprus, and now and outside of it, because I dated a Cypriot girl in Toronto, the Cypriots have a great sense of humor, and I love your stuff because when you go, and I love your moniker, Cypriot Smurf, you know. So let me ask you, how much of it, from your perspective, how much of it is from I would say Cypriot first, because you're Greek, you're Cypriot, but then Greek, because the Greeks really understand it, and there's some stuff we don't understand. Where's the mixture for you? How does that work?
What, when it comes to what the difference between Greek and Cypriot, or?
Right, yeah. Like when you do that, because I notice you'll do it, sometimes you'll say it, and you kind of, like the way I did it with Greek to English, because there are like Mishimu, Paticha. I love those words.
You know, I went to Thessaloniki, like, I think last month. And when I was there, this is the second time I've went. And when I was just talking to people, it's very strange to go to a country where you think you speak their language, like you speak 3/4 of their language. So I was just talking to people. I was in a room and I was like, I'm bolibira da mesa, which means it's very hot in here, but you don't say bira, you say zesti. And she was like, bira tinafto. And I was like, bira, zesti. So like, I was very confused because wherever I went, I was talking, but then at the same time, I was like, did I say something incorrect? Did I say something in Cypriot and not in Greek now? So that's where I've done a video with Ariana where we said boji boda, and like in Greek, boji is over there and boda is over here. And you guys is apoki, apedo, or something like that. I think. Yeah. So we done a video like that. So it was very difficult, but at the same time, when I was in Thessaloniki and I did speak, the people from the Greeks would be like, Kyprios is here. I mean, they just knew from a mile away. They know right away. They just knew you were Kypriot.
You're included in the special needs group. So if you're from Canada, America, Australia, or Cyprus, and you go to Greece, when we speak Greek, they think we're all special needs. They know. They're like, okay, you're Greek-ish.
Like even when you say "and," you say "ge," where we say "je." We say "je." So that's quite funny as well. I like.
Let me ask on the flip side, gentlemen. Now that we're saying this, being in America and Canada, have you been out in public and just all of a sudden listen to someone speak English with an accent, and you're like, that dude's got to be Greek from his accent?
Yeah,
English.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
I think what is it? The Greeks, it's like you can say a letter, but you don't really say it. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I think it's the C, the CH.
Because look at Greek. Listen. CHXH. Fucking language. It's like XHCH. I have had tsarukas.
Like if a Greek was to say DJ, how would he say it?
DJ.
Like they would say dinze. Yeah. So yeah. So like it was
not
dinze. So like we would hear it from that as well. But do you know what? Even going to Thessaloniki is like beautiful as well, because being Cypriot going to Greece, like I never knew how they would react, because I that was the longest I've ever been in Greece, and it was just so much love, and it's beautiful, you know, how we're all like, we all like to eat, but they knew, because the one thing in Greece, the reason they knew we were like Kyprei as well, because an Eliniki bitta is like, we need to eat 3 of them to make a Kypria gibita. So whenever we were going out to eat, we were like, 3 Kypriages, 3 Eliniges. They were like, you in Kypri. It was like, no, it was like, Kadalava. Do you know what I mean? So like, because we eat. And we like one Eleni.
And the food's good. Hey, guys, the food's great in Cyprus, by the way. Fucking awesome food.
That's what I hear.
Awesome
That's what I hear.
We have very good food. But again, I do want to say we went to a village in Thessaloniki. The village was Orma. We went to Bozar. It was like a thermal spa. We stopped in the driver. He was from Thessaloniki. He works in Crete. And he was like our driver. And we stopped in this village in Orma. Taverna du Bubu, it was called. We went there, we sat down, the waiter come, and my friend said, listen, tell the chef that money is not an issue. Make us the best dishes he has. Just keep it coming. Every single dish was the best food we've ever had in our lives. Maybe even better than Mexico, Angelo. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to go over there.
I mean, you expect to get good Greek food in Thessaloniki. I'm talking Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, where I didn't expect it. And my friend who lives there says, you want to go for Greek food? I go, yeah, I haven't had it. And I go, let's give it a try. And I went there and I'm like, holy shit, this is good.
Nice.
You see, so what, it's going to bring me to my question for you. So you're starting to travel more now because you're doing shows outside of Greece and stuff. How much of an impact does it have on your shows? Because this is where people ask me, where do you get a lot of material? Well, like you just said now, having a conversation where they realize you're Greekish or Cypriot, or going to the Popo Spa or wherever you're going. Does that give you, because you're as a content maker, you can make content on the spot, and at the same time you can also get material for your act. I mean, how does that work?
It impacts a lot, especially like when you open. Like I went to South Africa and I sort of like understood how they live and the way that like I just saw funny things that I saw and I just like put it into the start of my show. But one thing I saw that you done, I remember before you got on stage, you was like, remind me that word. And I said, Mishimo. And then you just like, I don't know, because you are a genius and you are amazing at what you do. You just like put it in there in the show. And like, that inspired me as well. I was like, sometimes the smallest thing you can create from it. And
well, you see, they don't expect it from me.
Yeah.
So that's why I gave you the shout out. I go, my buddy, I said, they don't expect it, the Mishimo, or the other stuff, even if I go to where Forty's from, if I go to Boston, it's not Worcester, it's Worcester. They have this accent in Boston, Worcester.
So basically, so they liked it because they knew you were Greek and you didn't know the word. It came off that you could pretend that word meant anything you wanted. Like batika, right. You thought it was mastura, like weed and stuff. So yeah, it's brilliant. I should be going. I should be going to Toronto, 8 May. If anyone's there.
Sure.
Let me know if you need hookups there. I lived there for 10 years. So
yeah, I remember.
I'll hook up. Are you going to go do a show there? You going to do a show for the Cypriot community?
Yeah.
Good.
So
it's a big community. It's a big community. And I got friends, so I'm gonna let them know. If you're going, let me know so I can let them know to come and see you.
It'd be good.
I got a lot of friends there too. I appreciate it. And I'll share it for you too when you go to Canada. No problem.
Because my show, what I do in my show, I try to mix it up because everyone loves my character as well, Souvlagis. So I do a bit of stand up. I try to pre-record a video based on the country I go to so they can have something like we said when you say Mishimo, like the video I do is like my character Souvlagis seeing things that are normal to them in like Toronto, let's say, and making a bit of fun. And then my character also comes out and interacts with the audience.
How did the character come up? That's the character I love. Tell us how that character came up for everybody listening today. How's that Souvlagis come out with that character?
So my uncle named him Souvlagi. I made him because I needed to play two different people. And that's what I thought a Cypriot man was like. Because when I was growing up, I was working doing aluminium, like double glazing. I was 16. I used to go to the Gaffiné to bring the coffee. Like I thought I was doing aluminium. I ended up being just a coffee errand boy. They used to send me to the Gaffiné to bring the cafés. So every time I'd go there, I'd see the old Cypriot Greek men. I'd see how they would act. I'll see my uncles in the Horko. And all of that together created Souvlagis. So whatever I see, I just add it onto Souvlagis, So he's my alter ego. And I actually think of him as another person now. A lot of people thought he was a different person because I wear the jacket and I hide tattoos or whatever.
With the glasses.
Yeah, and the sunglasses. The sunglasses, I love it that I wore them, but obviously so I can look different. But at the same time, it is a bit more of a challenge because like facial expressions is very difficult when you're wearing sunglasses. But yeah, I love him. It's weird to say it. Like I even talked about him like he's a different person. But I feel like a lot of people have sort of fell in love with him and they love to see him. And he will always, he's like a Cypriot, old Greek Cypriot guy or middle-aged that thinks he's modern, but isn't. He thinks he knows what's going on, and he tries to guess, but doesn't. But he would never say he's wrong as well. Like you turned a new leaf at the beginning of this podcast by saying sorry and admitting that you was wrong. I'm very proud of you, by the way.
See, I told Ari had to go do something. And I see what I said to Ari. I said, look, I'm going to do something very not Greek. I screwed up the time today and I apologize. I accept responsibility because you see, we all need to turn a new leaf and you can do it funny, but it's true. I woke up, Kimis Menos, asleep. Ari did send a message. I read it as 3:30. What he meant was we end at 3:30. You know,
you just saw 3:30 and thought,
I saw 3:30. I sent you a message. I sent you a message saying, okay, and you're like, yeah, that's cool because we're there's a time difference. I'm on the other coast of Baja, Mexico, and these guys are in Boston, and you're in Cyprus. I mean, this is the beauty of the internet. We can all talk here at the same time, and we're in 3 different parts of the world right now.
I was even thinking about that before we came on, how amazing the internet is. How, like I said, I know I'm going to keep bringing it up, but I used to watch you when I was younger. And now because of the internet and because of content and because of making videos, I'm sat here with you right now, which I would never believe would have ever happened.
And here you are on the show.
I'm talking to Ari, by the way. Yeah.
But you see, this is the thing. And it's like, I realized, I'm a big proponent of helping up new acts where, you know, Ariana is another one who's internet's. I look at Ariana. I look at you. We've had people on our show constantly. Gus in New York. Yeah. We've had
Ariana really inspires me though, because she's a worker. She gets out content, you know. So
this girl is a content machine.
Yeah,
I even said to her, she's like, you know, she's like got her things ready to go. And I mean, very innovative, very funny, very hardworking.
Even the others, they're doing the podcast together now, which is great. I feel like in America though, like there's more people like where I am now in Cyprus. I'm going to start a podcast with Laggy. His name Stavros Flatley. Have you heard of them?
The guy that's on Britain's Got Talent.
So me and his son are friends. Yeah, exactly. So me and him, we're going to start our podcast together. But he's the only person that I believe I have the opportunity of doing something creative with in Cyprus.
Right.
Where in America, everyone's like, hey, do you want to collab? Do you want to collab? Do you want to collab? And it's quite exciting. So I can't wait to even come over there and hopefully collab with some of them guys as well and yourselves.
Right.
Because I'm going to be coming over. I'm going to go to America as a tourist and then go into Canada because my uncle lives in Atlanta as well. So I don't know where that is.
So you're in the South. You're in the South.
All right, Sam.
And in Atlanta, I got friends in Atlanta. I'll hook you up with them too. We know people everywhere. That's the nice thing about doing this job. So the thing is, as you can see, the world's big, but the world, Peter, is not that big.
It's not that big at all.
I'm coming back to Cyprus in October.
Nice.
I'll be coming back in October at some point. Don't know where. I have to talk to Jason about it. They've added all these other cities and stuff. And
yeah, but next time, hotel-wise, please, because I've got a friend he's like the manager of the Radissons, and he said today, if you would have told me, I would have happily given him.
Well, I'm going to tell 100%. Jason, because I told him 5 years ago to go to Cyprus. You see, perimene, fucking Greeks, perimene. I knew it. I knew about my family, so I'm going to tell Jason now, when we go back, we're going to stay at the Radisson. Mind you, there was something about that hotel I liked.
No, it was family hotel.
Very family hotel. I hang out there. I kind of like that.
Do you know what the thing is? Over here is like, because we don't really get these big names all the time, when they do come, we sell it out. Like Jimmy Carr came, he sold out 2 shows. Like you came, you sold out that show. And I would, everyone I know after your show were like, why wasn't it like a bigger space? Why wasn't there 2 shows?
Right. So, because here's the deal. And one thing I learned about Americans is that go big, but they're
big or go home.
Scared, right? 14. And I said, but I go, Malak, I get a bigger venue. No, said even Canada's like that. The shows we're doing in Canada, I'm doing with Frank, we're sold out. They're scared. They're all sold out. I said, they're going to sell out. I'm telling you, I know. So Jason was like, I'm not sure, mate. And I told him, like, we got to get a bigger venue.
I feel like I think the upsetting thing of doing, like, obviously it was still a big show, but it's when you know you could sell out and then you sell out an even bigger show, like just the atmosphere of
makes it better. It's better.
Yeah, it's just like,
I agree.
Yeah.
So I told Jason we got to get a bigger venue, and we're going to do that. I'll talk to you about it anyway.
Yeah,
so this
I can suggest even the same place Jimmy Carr done, Nicosia. That would have been perfect.
How many is that place hold?
I think it was around 1,000.
1,000. That's good. Yeah, we can do that.
You could easily
sell it out, no problem. Easily. I'm going to see what Jimmy Carr would. I'm going to tell Jason.
So maybe do a little tell Russell Peters as well.
Tell Russell, one guy. Well, Russell was supposed to come. He'd love to go. He'd love Cyprus, and he'd love.
If
Greece.
He came Cyprus as well with you, and like both of you, and all of that. Everyone loves it. Everyone loves him as well. Like,
he's a phenomenon. He's a phenomenon around the world, Russell.
He's brilliant.
For sure. Anywhere he goes.
I remember watching something about, because obviously they said like he was the first YouTube comedian, and they asked him, I think I watched the documentary, they asked him what he thought about that, and he said he was pissed off because he took so much time trying to perfect them jokes, and then they just got it and put it on the internet. And that was before like monetization as well.
Well, now here's the thing. You made a good point here, Peter. And Forti, this is something. So are we going to, because the subject matter is the same for a lot of it. They always, they're saying in comedy, there's like 7 jokes in comedy, right? And I mean, we do like you said, you draw the character from your Theo. I've drawn characters, my mom. You see, Pasca, Kustugina, Baptistia, it's a fabric of what our life is. Do you think, and this is the good thing about the internet is that everybody gets to see it. The bad thing about the internet, everybody gets to see it.
Yeah.
Do you think, and I've asked this to a few people, it's good to keep getting creative, but at what point do you think maybe, I'm just saying in the future, will it become repetitive? Or what's the next step for it? Because sometimes what happens, we burn all our material live, right, Forte? You do it all live on content, internet. And then you go to do a show and they're like, oh, we heard this shit.
Yeah.
So, and this is not just, I'm not talking us, I'm just talking comedy in general.
Yeah.
And I've seen it in the States now where some comedians now are like, look, I'll put certain stuff out, but I can't put everything out because when you come to see me live, pretty much you've seen it.
No,
that's a very good point.
Right?
It is.
What do you think, Forti?
I think, and not to cut you off, Peter, but I also listened to this gripe with also other artists about, keeping certain content exclusive to live shows versus releasing them out there. But it's almost like a double-edged sword because you want enough content to create the awareness and the buzz and the publicity, but then on the other side of the coin, then, like to your point, then your guests or your followers or your fans won't have that wow surprise factor in the actual moment because they're already aware what's coming.
Exactly. And like internet is internet, everyone's going to see it. And
you sneeze now, Peter, and they see it on the internet.
And at the same time, if you don't post online, the algorithm will just like sort of
throw
you
that's
away.
What I'm saying. It's a gamisi.
Someone wrote.
That's why I like.
Sorry. Someone wrote. Do you think I should put quality or quantity? And I replied to him and I said to him, basically, your followers would say quantity, but the algorithm would say quality. Your followers would say quality, but the algorithm will say quantity. Bloody hell, I'm getting confused. So it is a bit crap because like you might think of an amazing idea as well. You might think of one right now and you want to sort of put it out there maybe before someone else puts it out there. And if you hold on to it before you do a show, you might be doing a show like me in a couple of months. And it's a bit, are you going to be able to do that and just hold on to it? Sometimes what I felt like I've done is I didn't put the whole joke somewhere. I put like a little snippet, which it's like a little bit of fishing to see if they would bite it. And then if I'm like, okay, they like that, I would write a bit about it as well. So maybe even testing it in a smaller like dose, and then releasing it on stand up and on stage is a good idea as well.
Yeah, because what happens too, and this happens with Italians, Greeks, Jewish, Arabs. It does. I mean, what happens is subject matter gets limited. So it's your perspective. So people want to see your perspective. They want to see your look at it. Like you have your look at it. Forty may have a different. Forty's in the wine business, so he also knows that wine is something personal. Some people like a Merlot. Some people like a Cab, a Shiraz. I mean, everybody's got a different taste, if you want to call it that. But I also find that because for me, I was doing comedy way before the internet. Now I'm starting to sound like the Theo now. During the day. So we had to go on, and I've known Forti and Adi for years. We've done shows way back in Boston, and we did stuff, and then all of a sudden this thing, the internet started, and then MP3, and then it was YouTube. Now it's Instagram. Now it's like we're sitting here talking to each other across the world. So it's like, I think, like I said, I always look at it both ways, Peter. I look at how great this is, but also how you could see where at some point people, the thing that worries me is that people say, oh, we've heard this. You know what I'm saying? And it could be your own perspective. But, oh, we heard this. Or the mom. I've been doing my mom stuff since 25 years now. So you hear other variations of it, which is cool. But yeah, it's the storyline. What did your mother say that would be? I get it. It could be different than my mom. It could be what she says, or my brother, or like we said, like you said, you went to Thessaloniki. Now you just told us a little bit today, but you could sit down after and say, I had this conversation with Greek people, and what I take away from it when you tell me that is that we're all a version of special needs to the Greeks. Because I go, we speak, and I said that to them in Greece, and they laughed. I go, I get it. We speak Greek like special needs Greek.
I'm sure they love that.
They love it because they know it's true, and they're like, nah, because they.
And the Greeks are just listening and they're just grima. They're just like letting
grima. That's what Greeks say. If there's something off about you, it's like he's ours. So it's okay that he's a little off. But the reality is, you grew up in Cyprus. I grew up in Canada. Forti grew up in America. We're all connected. Thus the word connecting Greeks. See what I did there, Forti? See how I did that? They're connecting Greeks, and that's why I like this podcast. And the thing is that it's all about perspectives. And I think, and this is what I like about what you do. I like the fact you're showing us your Cypriot. I want to see that. I told you that before, and I'm happy that you're going to go to Canada. Big Cypriot community in Toronto, Kitchener, a lot of Kypri there. And a nice community, really nice people. I've done shows for them too. And then anywhere you go, it's like, it's a small community, but yet it's a big community. Very like the Armenians, very connected, or like Kalimnos, where we have to hear about Kalimnos.
Listen,
I just,
that was just by coincidence.
Say that again, sorry?
I'm sorry, I cut you off, but I was just mentioned to Angel's comment. He used the word Kalimians, and we've had guests on the show because that's my background. I'm Kalimian. And it seemed like I was, favoring Kalimian guests, but it was just by chance, by coincidence, that these guests happened to be one. That's all.
They're awesome. But I go to Adelaide, Australia. The guys there, what's his name? The Galimnos. It just seemed like every guest we got was from Kalimnos. I go, really?
What's her name?
But I want to go there. It's a beautiful island. I really want to go there.
The Euro Queen that we had.
The Euro Queen, that hottie who eats gyros in Australia. Have you seen her?
Yeah. She's from.
I was her first guest on the show. I see this hot, beautiful Greek girl who loves gyro. I go, I want to marry this chick. I go, she's fucking. But she's so nice. I was her first guest on her podcast thing that she does. And I want to say she's in Sydney. Sydney, Australia.
Yeah,
Melbourne.
Sydney.
Yeah, I
Sydney,
think so,
and
yeah.
a very nice, nice girl. Met her with her boyfriend, and that's why it was nice. That's the nice thing. See, Peter, the nice thing about the job we do, we get to travel around and meet really nice people around the world, and there's no value on that. There really is.
Agreed.
That's what I was going to say. For me, Australia is like I fell in love with Australia. But the thing, do you know when we said about doing the content online and not wanting to put it all out there because of what we do? And it's amazing as well because like some people will put everything out there online.
Yes,
because they're happy just to do everything online behind the camera. But for us, I believe as well as you, like being on stage and actually hearing that laughter is like a drug. So I can't just do this online all the time. I want to be on stage. When I hear a couple of laughter, it's just like, give me more. I want more now.
You want that. You need more. I've been writing her in the too, but it's got to cut. It's got to. I have my traveling companion. My daughter gives me carrots.
That's so cute.
So I bring carrot. When she was 4, she gave this to me. He comes with me everywhere I go. A little carotto. She goes, "What's his name, Olivia?" She goes, "Carrot." So I look at Carrot sometimes, going, "Is this funny?" And I realize I'm losing my mind. But Carrot sits there, the same expression, doesn't ask for anything. He agrees, and that's what I'm saying to you. It's good. That's what I said to you. It's good. It's both good. You need to put stuff
funny.
online.
There's something funny with Carrot because he's a rabbit. We're Greeks. We rabbit. There's
something there, yeah.
There's something there.
Mishimo. The Carrot's my Mishimo.
Because my yaya, my dad used to have a pet rabbit. And every day my dad used to come home from school, he told me, my yaya would say, make sure you feed your rabbit. Make sure you feed your rabbit. Every day he would feed his rabbit. Every day he would feed his rabbit for months.
That's awesome.
One day he got home, he went to feed the rabbit. He couldn't find the rabbit. And he was like, yeah, like mum, actually, like, where's the rabbit? And she's like, he ran away, but he was actually eating the rabbit that night. So that's the only reason she wanted him to feed the rabbit. Yana bashini the bloody rabbit, yana dos fasi. You know what I mean? So,
he said, Natofasi, right? Yeah. We say Natofai. I love that. Natofasi. See, feed the rabbit Natofasi. It means Natofame.
I think we kind of get it. We kind of get it.
I thought do you know what it is? I was in a taxi in Limassol and a Greek man picked us up. We say galamara. A lot of people think that that's a rude term when it's not, because you call them galamara because they were very intelligent because they used the ink from the squid to write. So when you call someone a galamara, it's a compliment, you know.
Right.
There was a joke. I had like a little joke there as well because like it's intelligent for a galamara to call someone a galamara. It's intelligent because they wrote with ink. But I wanted to like do a joke, but yet they starved or something like that because you could have just ate it as well. But I don't know. It needs work. Anyway, we were in a taxi and we were talking, and like for me, I'm Cypriot, but I feel Greek Cypriot. You know, there are a lot of other people that have other feelings on the situation and everything like that, but that's the way I feel. And I started asking him about the language and everything like that. And he basically said to me that the difference between the Cypriot language and the Greek language is that Greeks use every single word in the Greek dictionary, where Cypriots use maybe a quarter, if not just a little bit more. And in Greek, every action has its own word. So
one word could mean a lot. Yes.
So in Greek, every action has its own word, where in Cypriot, we would say, one word means all of these. So where I would say natopkiaso, I think that comes off a bit rude in Greek. Natopkiaso, we say natopkiao, natopkiaso, kiasto. So we use that. It all means the same thing. Where in Greek, I feel what he explained to me is that parto, and you have specific words for each action, basically. So I think that's the only difference. And obviously, due to our history and who came through Cyprus, we have like little other words, pochipoda, as well.
Well, because look, I always tell Armenians, Cypriots, Greeks, if there's a word we both have, it's Turkish.
Yeah,
like Siktir. Turkish. You know, and now look what's happening now in Greece. Erdogan met with Mitsotakis. They're going to build a bridge. The Turks realize now they need to move. They're trying to move up, and then the Greeks, because look what I mean. I'm not making this political, but we don't need wars. You know, look what's going on now in the Middle East. I mean, and even for Greeks now, the economy's back on track. I mean, everybody wants their own identity, but we also, as the Greeks would say, and the Kypri would say, we need to enjoy our lives. You know, we can't sit here. Too many bad things come out of it. And that's why we do what we do. You know, we do this to entertain people. People like the fact you can put them in a good place or make them feel good, even if they're watching a video or coming to a live show, you know, or, whatever the case is. But look, man, this is, I'm so happy that, Ari had to leave today because he's a good dad. He had to go get his kid. It's still the holidays here.
Oh, he had to pick them
yeah,
up.
I thought he said, let's start at 3:30, Washington time, because I got to get my kids before then, I thought. But see, that's skeftika ketaka na salata, as we say.
No. Takana skata.
Takana skata. So, that's okay. Yeah, but Ari's always the guy. Ari's our technical guy, and Ari sets this whole thing up. He's the genius. We're just the faces. And Forty's the marketing guy, but that's why this team works. So Ari had to go do good on Ari. He's a good dad. I'm so happy he came and showed up. Before I leave,
thank you so much.
Before we leave, right away. Forty has a few questions he can ask you.
Yes.
And it'll be interesting today, Forty, because usually it's about being Greek. Now you can kind of mix it up a bit. So I'm happy you're on here, Peter, and we'll talk. But thanks. I'm glad you came on the show today. But Forty's going to take it from here.
Thank you, Angelo. Peter, it's been an honor to meet you virtually, and I hope at some point it's going to be in person, 100%. Especially if your travels bring you to the U.S. and who knows what could happen. But this has been great, and I'm sure our audience are going to enjoy and want to learn more about you for sure. I just followed you on Instagram, and I'm looking forward to all the clips that you have. But we got to know a little bit about you within this hour, but we always ask our guests a handful of questions just to get you to know you a little more personal. So Peter, I know this will be a challenge for me because our guests mainly hail from you. Those are some Greek attributes that we asked in these questions. So in Cyprus, or when your choice of drink, is it ouzo or raki for you? And I'm assuming raki is a option in Cyprus, or tsipuro.
It would be you have tsipuro, we have ouzo, but we would also zivania.
Zivania, all right.
Zivania. See, we learned something.
So what's Peter's choice?
If I was to drink any of them, it would be zivania. It's strong. It is very strong.
What's it taste like? Is it like moonshine? What is it?
It's a bit like moonshine, yeah.
Okay.
But ouzo is nice. Ouzo with a little bit of Sprite is also. So yeah.
All right. Now, again, next question would be with our guests. We ask, are you more octopus or calamari?
Depends on the day, because
the day. I like that.
See?
Because it depends. Like now, I'm more octopus, but sometimes you just want some fried calamari.
Fried calamari is good.
Yeah, it's like one of those after the thalassa. You just walk. You're in your pantofles. You're in your swimming shorts. You go to a taverna. But then you would just want a bit of everything. No, octapodi.
Octapodi. All right. The next question, I'm sure, can apply to being in Cyprus. I know you use the word pita, but we always ask our guests, gyro or souvlaki?
Souvlaki.
Hence why you, right?
There's no wrong. By the way, there's no wrong answer there.
Hence why my character is called souvlaki. It would be bad for me to choose gyro.
You have to do the alter ego gyro.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Peter, for answering those questions to get to know you a little bit more.
Thank you.
Much success in your upcoming travels and so forth. We're definitely going to be following you, and we obviously would make it a point to bring you back on at some point into one of our upcoming episodes. But thank you very much.
I'd love to. Thank you guys
so
much for having me.
Email Ari all your details, where they can find you as a Cypriot Smurf on Instagram, because they're going to tag all that stuff so you can share it, and then we reshare it, and we'll
grab all that information and put that in the notes when the podcast gets released.
Perfect. I'll send it to your email now.
Excellent.
Thank you guys. Really, thank you. It was an honor even to sit and speak to all of you.
Angelo, great work again, as always, allowing us to bring great guests to the program, because at the end of the day, this is all about connecting us together no matter what corner of the world. We've touched so many areas, Greece, Australia, Cyprus, South Africa, Canada, the U.S. I think, Angelo, we're missing somebody from like South America and Central America, so we got to work on that.
I know there's Greeks in Montevideo. I got a friend there. Going to get them on.
Excellent.
You need to get that restaurant owner on with the.
Dude, I'm going to get him on.
The
food was so good. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, wow. It was really good.
That warrants an invitation to the show.
That's good.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Awesome,
thanks, Angelo. Thank you, Peter. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks.
We'll see you on our next episode. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.